Okay, so there's a couple stuck together, just brief shorts, I think they call them. I wonder, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but here goes. Some months ago, we, a group of actors, and I began a Zoom rehearsal of Anton Chekhov's Ivanov, an early play. I don't know enough to say it was a good or bad translation. It's terribly subjective, but it has massive vigor. The characters love each other and attack each other, if one chooses to interpret them as persons who do that. Many people do that, so we used that interpretation. Oh, it was fun. Is fun, we haven't finished. But I thought if I went to see this play in 1887 at its premiere, if I was that type of Russian, moneyed, educated, joyous, maybe because of money and education, I would be watching a version of myself on stage, but a much more honest, open version of myself on stage, revealers or expressors of feeling. The audience I cannot express. I cannot allow the crisis in the play to occur to me, so I watch these more extreme and braver versions of me discuss the parts of life I might hide from. In a word, the experience of watching it might be therapeutic. What a word. Maybe the revolution of Chekhov, analyzed as this or that, was this, really. Or if you like, this is the function of theater. To hold a mirror up to nature, okay, but why? This strong thing that has been with us, we know not how long, since Homer in the West, since the great row between Achilles and Agamemnon, Hector leaving his wife and the child to go to battle, Achilles screaming at Sarpedon to be brave in death, Hecuba calling Hector to come back inside the gates, Priam challenging Achilles. So much. Performances for generals, priests, and statesmen to absorb and feel something. Perhaps they are not allowed otherwise to feel. When it's good, when we know it's our job to do, that is the job to do, actor and audience, ho-ho, Chekhov did this, I think, and maybe, as the odd academics say, created something new in drama with Ibsen and Strindberg and probably many other people, or recreated, I'd say. I don't mind stretching. These writers and many more were updating the art that had been the same since day one. I'm watching Chasing Shadows from 2015, a British crime procedural on television. I just watched Confession from 2019, same kind of thing. They are so very well done. The performances from all involved so varied and real, and I wondered how many people watched these pieces, how many English people who didn't need a special subscription as we do in the States, and I guess in the end how useful this kind of thing is. I don't know. They are certainly, in my opinion, excellence achieved. They are centered on murder. What is that about? Chekhov isn't. The Iliad is, but we think that was watched and heard by murderers/warriors, like the sagas of Beowulf. But we, Chekhovians and us, we imagine, are civilized people. So what do these works do for us wholly? W-H-O-L-L-Y. They excite something, are exciting, which may be all we need to know, but then someone tries to kill a candidate whose mind may have been saturated by filmed violence. Do we lead full and vivid lives and need art for relaxation and repose and recovery, or humdrum lives that need art for excitement, vicarious fullness? The Ivanov made me think that this was before therapy, that the play was written for people in crisis. Everyone in it is at a turning point. And aren't we all always possibly at a turning point? Next bit. More fallouts. J.D. Vance touted by Glenn Greenwood as a smart guy. Greenwald, sorry love. Yes, the worst nightmare of what passes for the left that is left. A talented Trump. And I had a listen. I had tried the book, Hillbilly Elegy. I couldn't. It is one of those things. The sermon reveals itself early on in most writers with little writing talent. It was Churchill's genius. He made supremacy entertaining, or at least hid it where it is best hid, in condescension. JD has not this talent, though he pulled the wool over MSNBC's eyes. He was on the show when the book came out. The red-cheeked ex-Marine graduate of Ivy League Law School, all badges of something, I guess, and Joy Reid asked him why he had riz so far from his hillbilly roots when other poor folk had not, hint, hint. He said to this black Ivy Leaguer that his people were industrious and had pride. She did not flicker. Now that is talent, or policy, or Joy was uncaffeinated that day. Probably a word about my unconventional, personal, therefore talented view of talent. It is not the capacity to regurgitate, it is the capacity to reveal. JD is a regurgitator, so is Joy. There are regurgitators with talent, Malcolm X, Bernie Sanders, but they are rare, and one feels the reveal with them also, overwhelming the reiterations in the correct order. I guess in some sense these are the real leaders. Trump, for instance, whose facts are laughable, he reveals, I am a man of rage. This strange fact that he is an adulterer and all the other stuff that would sink JD faster than a Falwell, is a gift, is that we see it. He reveals a snarling, childish self that lots of fellow citizens share, but it is taboo in their church to reveal. The church of the cheek turner and forgiver. Genius. So behind the JD grasp of facts and numbers, a look at the nasty, the grievance. It is interesting to me to look at the wars and the collateral arguings. When someone says to me they support Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, etc., they mean they support them against Russia, Hamas, Israel. They support them in their mission against. They connect to the outrage. Personally, it seems, rage against Putin or Netanyahu. Without naivete, real or fake, I'd ask what might be done to protect Ukrainians, what might be done to protect Ukrainians, Gazans or Israelis. If that is their interest, I see this. The only way to protect Ukrainians, Gazans or Israelis is to kill all Russians, Israeli or Gazans. That is the nature of their support. And the reason for it. Or negotiate. It is very interesting to me that Western Europe, their obese children, the US, Canada, and Australia are all het up, assuming Russia and China are trying to take over the world. And being Christian convinces one Islam is trying to take over too. Probably not interesting to most of them, but mirrors get more painful the older and uglier we get.